In the heart of Istanbul, a city that blends history and modernity, a young girl was born who would soon capture the imagination of an entire nation. Leya Kirsan came into the world on May 13, 2008, with the same vibrancy and curiosity that Istanbul itself embodies. Her story is not one of overnight fame, but of consistent dedication, natural talent, and the kind of charm that feels effortless, yet unforgettable. Growing up, Leya's life was like that of many other Turkish children. She balanced school, friendships, and family, with the occasional spark of creativity that set her apart. But from an early age, people noticed something different. Teachers and family friends spoke of her expressions, her ability to tell stories through her eyes, and her comfort in front of others. It was not long before those qualities drew attention beyond her household. By the time she reached the age of 6, her family began to realize that she wasn't just an ordinary child with a knack for entertaining. She had the poise, presence, and natural instinct that belonged to performers. And in 2014, at only 6 years old, she stepped into the world of acting. The Turkish television industry is one of the most dynamic in the world, with dramas reaching audiences across the Middle East, Europe, and now increasingly the West. Entering this field is not easy, especially for children. Yet, Leya Kirsan found herself landing her first role in the television series Hayat Yolunda in 2014. For a child actor, the first role can either be a fleeting experiment or the start of a lifelong career. For Leya, it was the latter. She was not intimidated by cameras, directors, or scripts. Instead, she embraced the challenge with enthusiasm. Her performance may have been small compared to veteran actors around her, but her presence left an impression. Soon after, she appeared in Maral and Gu One Kortazel Hikayem, a drama series that starred major Turkish talents like Hazal Kaya and Aras Bulut Edegri Sinemli. Sharing the screen with established names could have been overwhelming, but Leya handled it with grace. She was quickly seen as a reliable young performer who could bring emotional depth, even in limited screen time. By 2015, she also appeared in Yves de Nom Quarter Old, continuing to build her portfolio. Within just a year, she had already become a familiar face in households across Turkey. For a child not even 10 years old, this was extraordinary. One of the most defining moments of Leya's career came when she was cast in Payitat Abdan One Kortal Hamid, a historical drama centered on the reign of Sultan Abdan One Kortal Hamid II. Historical dramas hold a special place in Turkish television, not only for their entertainment value, but for their cultural significance. In Payitat, Leya played Ojadiye Sultan, the daughter of Sultan Abda One Kortal Hamid. The role required more than just acting. It demanded maturity, understanding of history, and the ability to embody the aura of royalty. And Leya delivered. Her portrayal was both delicate and strong, capturing the innocence of a princess while also reflecting the weight of responsibility that comes with royal life. Audiences praised her performance, and for many viewers, it was the first time they truly noticed her as more than a child actress. Is not just playing a role, Shaw was living it, wrote one Turkish fan on social media, and that sentiment echoed across the fandom. After proving herself in dramatic roles, Leya took on something different, the action-adventure series Toz Koparan. This show became a turning point. Instead of being a side character or a child in a family drama, she was thrust into a world of archery, fantasy, and high-paced storytelling. Toz Koparan wasn't just a television series. It was a cultural phenomenon among children and teenagers in Turkey. The story about young archers battling challenges connected with young audiences deeply, and Leya quickly became a fan favorite. Her role demanded physicality, energy, and charisma, and she rose to the challenge. For many children watching, she became a role model. For parents, she represented a safe, talented, and admirable figure their kids could look up to. It was here that her star power truly began to shine. Leya wasn't just another child actor. She was leading a generation of viewers. By the time she reached her teenage years, Leya had already achieved what many adult actors spend decades chasing: recognition, credibility, and a loyal fan base. Interviews with directors often highlighted her discipline on set, describing her as both professional and easygoing. On social media, fans across Turkey and beyond shared clips of her performances, edits with music, and montages of her iconic scenes. UK and US audiences began discovering her through subtitled versions of Turkish dramas, and soon English-speaking fan pages appeared online. In one interview, when asked about fame, Leya responded with humility. "In just doing what I love, I do not think about being famous. I think about how to get better." This authenticity only made her more admired. In 2023, Leya took on one of her most talked about roles yet in Kurulu Oy Osman, the globally successful sequel to Dirili Oy Ertuğ Elerul. Turkish historical epics have gained international fame, with audiences in the UK and US now eagerly following them through streaming platforms. In this series, she played Fatma Hatun, bringing yet another historical figure to life. By now, Leya was no longer seen as just a child actress. She was transitioning into a teenage star with the potential for an international career. Her performance in Kurulu Oy Osman earned her praise not only from Turkish critics, but also from international fans who compared her poise and screen presence to seasoned actors. A fan from London wrote on Twitter, "Leya has the kind of screen presence that makes you forget you were watching a teenager. It's destined for Hollywood." Despite her busy career, Leya has always emphasized the importance of education. She is still a student, balancing her acting life with schoolwork. Friends describe her as cheerful, grounded, and surprisingly normal for someone constantly in the spotlight. She has expressed interest in pursuing fine arts in the future, a sign that her creativity extends beyond acting. Whether painting, designing, or performing, she represents the modern, multi-talented artist. Directors often note her professionalism. One director commented, "When she walks onto a set, she's prepared. She respects her craft, and that makes everyone respect her." As Turkish series have spread worldwide, so has Leya's name. In the Middle East, she is already a familiar face. In Europe, subtitles and streaming services have introduced her to a broader audience. And in the UK and US, Turkish dramas have become a niche yet growing trend, with fans hungry for fresh talent. On Instagram, Leya has a growing fan base that spans continents. Fan pages in English, Spanish, and Arabic regularly post updates, edits, and artwork dedicated to her. For a teenager to inspire such global devotion is rare, but it speaks to her universal appeal. Her fans don't just admire her talent, they admire her character. Many describe her as a humble, a sweet, and a different from other young celebrities. Where does Leya Kirsan go from here? At just 17-inch the coming years, she has countless doors open. Turkish cinema continues to grow internationally, and many believe she could be one of the next stars to cross over into Hollywood or European cinema. She has the versatility to play historical figures, the charisma to lead adventure stories, and the natural charm to star in modern dramas. Beyond that, her commitment to education and art suggests she may explore multiple creative fields. As one fan put it, not just Turkey's future star, she is the world. From the streets of Istanbul to the sets of globally recognized series, Leya Kirsan's journey is nothing short of inspiring. Her story is one of dedication, passion, and the ability to remain authentic in an industry that often changes people. For UK and US audiences discovering her now, she represents the future of international television. She's proof that talent knows no borders, and that the next generation of stars may not come from Hollywood, but from Istanbul, carrying stories that resonate with the entire world. The story of Leya Kirsan is only just beginning, and if her journey so far is any indication, the world will be hearing her name for decades to come.